So Matthew, you've described two experiences which were slightly different, and I'll lay out what they seem to be to me from this perspective. One, the one in the bathroom, sounds like it was what I would call an opening. And the other one you mentioned, which passed, which had some excitement, well, they both passed, but which had some excitement attached to it, I would call a moment of choiceless awareness. So let me just lay out the differences. So a moment of choiceless awareness is like a spontaneous, like a flash, or it could be a few seconds. It just could be a moment of like seeing life from out there. And then immediately the personality comes back in, takes control, and as witnessed by the excitement. Ooh, I've really seen something. Ooh, I'm special, or whatever it wants to apply to that moment. Okay.
Yes.
And as soon as those things are happening, it's obvious that this is this is the activity of personality responding to and attaching itself to this lovely moment of choiceless awareness
Trying to extract value from it, or to
for itself. Yeah. The bathroom incident, as I understand it from what you've told me, is it was deeper and longer, and I'm sure after it finished, those sort of things probably came in, but it took longer to get there. So it was a more powerful experience of life beyond personality, which meant for a longer time, the influences and the structures and patterns of personality didn't come in and apply themselves. It's a question of kind of the intensity of the experience, really, and the depth of it. It's like a light going on in the darkness. Why do I say that? I mean, because the personality operates without awareness of what it's doing. So when choiceless awareness comes, it's like a light going on. So it's a bit like there's a dark night and there's a flash of light, and suddenly you can see, and that may stay on for an hour, or it may stay on for a split second. But in that moment, you see what the light illuminates, and that what it illuminates is your experience of life, your consciousness experiencing itself in this life. So as far as I'm concerned, an awakening is the same thing, only that light is coming on and is staying for a lot longer. Now, the awakening I describe in my book is lasted about a day, maybe 2 days. I've heard some people have had it last longer, a week or maybe months. But the point is that it still ends. Like the guy we talked about with the psilocybin drug, there's a grace period, there's this free gift, and then it ends. Okay, so I've experienced throughout my life moments of choiceless awareness, like you've explained, openings or a bit longer, awakenings maybe a couple of times were very, very strong. And during the awakening, you'll think, wow, I got it. I'm there. I know this. I'm free. And then it passes again. So what is the shift? Well, the shift is that perspective, that light coming on without it passing and ending. So there's no return back to that viewpoint that was previously there, which is the unconsciousness, the darkness of personality, of acting as this thing called personality and believing that you are it and everything that it creates being identified with. So this is where the suffering comes in, the personality suffering. It's the most natural thing in the world. It's as natural as the child in the natural state, because it is what's natural. It's the bit in between, the losing, the wound and the losing the natural state and the refinding this in what I call the shift. That is, I can't say it's unnatural because it's just what happens, apparently. But in relation to this, it's you could say it's unnatural. It doesn't fit with this, because everything that comes out from that loss of this is an anathema to this. It doesn't fit. It doesn't hold any credibility anymore for you. A life begins that is without this incredible input and this identification and this mess and this all of the things that come with it. And it's a very different life that's lived. And it's very simple and it's not flashing lights.
It's not driven, I would imagine. So that you don't have the personality driving it from the personality.
It's certainly not driven by personality, correct. But it can be driven by passion that comes from the character, from joy. It can be driven, yes. But that driven doesn't come loaded with the need and the hope and the excitement that when I get this, I'll be happy. So the passion is for its own sake, and it's a joy for its own sake, which is really what joy is. The rose doesn't blossom with roses just come out in the garden. It doesn't come out for any reason. It's just beauty without reason. And yeah, that's the perspective that the shift brings into a life.